Celebrities who dated before they were famous. Part 2. Denise Richards and Paul Walker. The science comedy Tammy and the T-Rex from 1994 was one of the late actor's first roles. Walker and his co-star Denise Richards had a great chemistry, even if the movie wasn't a big hit, and that's putting it gently. After the movie came out, the extraordinarily attractive couple started dating before splitting up. Michael Keaton and Courteney Cox. Michael Keaton moved to Hollywood in the early to mid-1980s when he started dating Courteney Cox, an unknown aspiring actress at the time. When she and Keaton began dating in 1989, she had already had a recurring part on Family Ties, but her legendary tenure as Monica on Friends was still a few years away. They dated for 6 years before divorcing in 1995, the year Friends went viral. George Clooney and Kelly Preston. Before finding true love with their separate marriages, it appears that future A-listers like George Clooney and the late Kelly Preston were all out and dating each other in the 1980s, Amal Clooney and John Travolta, of course. They shared a home with Clooney's adored pet pig Max during the brief period of their adolescent courtship, which lasted from 1987 until 1989. Joey Lawrence and Kerry Russell. Speaking of hair goals, prior to Russell's time as the love-hate Felicity Major character, Joey Lawrence and Kerry Russell were a popular couple in the 1990s. Russell was still romantically connected with her on-again, off-again boyfriend Tony Luca of the Mickey Mouse Club at the time, so the relationship wasn't without its share of turbulence. Before getting hitched on September 6, 1997, these two had a 15-year intermittent relationship. Huffman fell in love with them immediately when they first met in the early 1980s at Atlantic Theater Company in New York City. Together, they had a passion for performing, and after that, she told the Daily Mail that Huffman went on a campaign. He was definitely worth it. Zooey Deschanel and Jason Schwartzman. Before she had her breakthrough performance in Almost Famous and shortly after he had won our hearts in Rushmore, these two began dating when they were both 19 years old. Schwartzman, according to Deschanel, was her first serious lover. In 2005, the couple split up. Fred Savage and Jennifer Love Hewitt. Is going on a single date considered dating? If so, then there is little doubt that Fred Savage and Jennifer Love Hewitt were romantically involved, albeit Hewitt's unusual choice of pet didn't exactly endear her to Savage. She said on Facebook Live to a group of former child actors, including Jodie Sweetin from Full House and Beverly Mitchell from Seventh Heaven, "Fred Savage was my first date. Because he was Fred Savage, he was able to get us in very young to the Laugh Factory. We went to a comedy show and dropped me off. And I had a pig as a pet at the time, so I never saw him again because I had a pig as a pet and he was really creeped out. He was very sweet. I had a huge crush on him." Reese Witherspoon and Chris O'Donnell. In 1993, these two were mere kids striving to make it big in Hollywood. Today, she is the big screen star, and he steals the show on television. Chris O'Donnell started dating Reese Witherspoon right after his breakthrough roles in School Ties and Scent a Woman. She had recently relocated to Los Angeles at the age of 16. Angela Bassett and Courtney B. Vance. In the 1980s, Courtney B. Vance and Angela Bassett met while enrolled in the Yale School of Drama's master's program. They remained acquaintances for several years before beginning a serious relationship. They got married in 1997, and in 2006 they had twins. Bassett recalls that at the time, he had a beautiful, beautiful girlfriend who was also in theater school with us. So maybe 14 years later, here in Los Angeles, our paths converged. And while he was single, so was I over those years, I developed a great respect for him because of his consistency, his manner toward others, his capacity to encourage others, his ability to bring people and ideas together, and his passion. With people, Bassett disclosed, that is how a love story appears. Liam Neeson and Helen Mirren. This one will startle you. After meeting on the Excalibur set in 1981, the Taken actor and the Oscar winner began dating for 5 years in the 1980s, when she was still trying to break into the movie industry and he was largely unknown. Neeson claims that he fell in love with his co-star right away, and they quickly began dating as a result. During a 2018 episode of The Graham Morton Show, Mirren affirmed, "We didn't date, we lived together. For a while, we had a serious relationship." Minka Kelly and Donald Faison. She was still a rising celebrity at the time, years away from her starring role on Friday Night Lights, while he was a Scrubs star. The couple didn't mind being photographed together in public. Justin Timberlake and Fergie. Before NSYNC ever released their debut album in 1997, Fergie Ferg and Justin Timberlake were dating. She was a member of girl group Wild Orchid. She described her "Where Is the Love" collaborator as being 16 years old while she was 23 years old. It was before him getting very physical with Britney. Both of them have since been involved in high-profile relationships. Fergie married Josh Duhamel, whom she eventually divorced, and Timberlake wed Jessica Biel, another person on this list. Justin Timberlake and Jenna Dewan. After he went solo, Jenna Dewan began working as a background dancer for Justin Timberlake, where they first became acquainted. Dewan revealed details about their brief romance when she appeared on Bravo's Watch What Happens Live. Dewan timidly admitted, "We dated, not that long. We were like friends who also went out." Dewan and Spears engaged in a dance-off over Timberlake and Lifetime's unofficial Britney Spears biography Britney Ever After. Dewan maintains it was entirely fictitious. "It would be the coolest story ever to say. I truly wish I could say that happened, but it never did."